I have Will with me here. Will is from Omega Society. Will, maybe we can get a little bit of background on you, and maybe briefly describe your business and what you guys are up to.
Absolutely. My name is Will Michaelis. I'm a licensed funeral director here in California. I do all of our company's online advertising as well as managing our counselors. We are a high volume cremation society.
Hmm.
We do generally over about 3,000 calls a year. So we're well versed in high volume care for families. That's really what I spend my days doing.
Got it, got it. Okay, Will. So we've known each other for some time now. Maybe let's start from the beginning. We've been working together for probably about over a year. Maybe you can help us understand, what you were doing before we engaged. What kind of goals were you trying to achieve? What problems were you trying to solve? And maybe
Mhm.
some of the frustrations you were having.
Sure. So before our engagement with Parting Pro, all of our case management was done on paper. So everything was written by hand every day. All new cases were written in a large binder that was kind of our source of truth. And then we had kind of a second source of truth with the owner having her own binder and following and tracking different items. And kind of every day was a struggle to not only serve families with quality care, but also diligently track these items on paper in various places
Right.
as each case went through its normal process. So it was kind of a headache to manage all of that, as well as kind of being there for families and doing kind of all the stuff that our job entails.
Right, right. Okay. And then, so I guess now that you have Parting Pro, what would you say the results you achieved were, and what kind of, I guess, what kind of aspects of your life or your business have improved, and by how much?
So yeah, so I would say that since starting with Parting Pro, we've seen a lot of benefits manifested. It's easier to create processes for our team, which
Uh-huh.
is a big factor that is a nice outcome from using Parting Pro. At a more case level basis, we've seen paperwork be completed faster for families, more accurately without any missing signatures or empty fields that causes unnecessary calls or rework.
Uh-huh.
And we've seen an increase in our average case order
Hmm.
dollar amount, which is great, which is due to um, a lot of families seeing the services that we offer in online checkout and merchandise in online checkout,
Yeah.
which is a nice soft sell. We don't have to sell them. They see and they pick it on their own.
Yeah.
That's increased our overall value for each case. Um, and we receive those payments from families faster. It's easy to send out an itemized, clear, transparent invoice for a family to review and for them to pay whenever they see fit within their day. Maybe that's at 3 o'clock in the morning. They're
Hmm.
free to go to that invoice, pay that invoice, and we just see it in the morning. It's great.
Yeah. 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 So it sounds like before, in terms of the case management, you guys were all over the place, but also it seems like before you didn't really have any sort of tools to help with the sales process either.
Exactly.
Yeah, so maybe you can help describe, maybe you can briefly describe like your sales process before and how it's improved now that you have Parting Pro and how you're using the online arrangement tools.
Absolutely. So before Parting Pro, we we almost never got um, merchandise in front of customers. The
Mm-hmm.
only merchandise that existed was in our showroom.
Mm-hmm.
The only way a family would see that is if they came into our office to do arrangements,
Yeah.
um, or when they decided to pick up the remains after the cremation is complete. And at that time, usually they've already paid some other way,
Yeah.
and the merchandise is an afterthought.
Yeah.
Um, with Parting Pro and online checkout, we the families see the merchandise, they see the services that we offer, Parting Pro also offers a proposal email to be
Mm-hmm.
sent for cases that allows them to kind of subsequently go through that checkout and see that merchandise and services as well.
Yeah.
And makes our lives a lot easier in terms of what we need to charge families for, what they've selected, and ultimately create kind of overall more transparency in our buying process, which is great for us and great for families.
Right. Yeah. Because I think one of the things that you were worried about with the merchandise sales, you don't want to come off as too salesy or too pushy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, we don't want to offer, too much of an upsell, but with Parting Pro, you don't have to, because the family just kind of picks and chooses on their own.
Yeah.
So you don't really got to do any work really.
No.
I remember when we first started, you sent me that gift where like, you're just like holding all those, it was like holding bundles of money, because it was working out real well. Cool.
Yeah, it's great.
One other thing I wanted to kind of touch upon, which I think you guys were like the guinea pig for, and you guys had a crazy result on this. It was just the overall reviews and social proof.
Mm-hmm.
Talk a little bit about that and how that's changed your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So before Parting Pro, we had no mechanism to build our social proof online. Yeah. Whether that be Google, Yelp, or Facebook reviews. Our previous process was to serve families as well as we could, and just like cross our fingers and hope that they're moved to go to one of those platforms and leave us a positive review.
Yeah.
And really, we could control is give them an outstanding 5-star experience and just pray for the best. With Parting Pro, we can close a case and know that that family automatically gets an email asking them if they would recommend our service to someone else. Yeah. And rate us out of 5 stars. Yeah. And Parting Pro takes care of that funnel of making sure that that gets posted on the right platform. And since we've started with Parting Pro, we've seen a huge influx in those reviews, and our overall star rating on Google has gone up, and people are now giving us feedback saying, hey, it's crazy that you have 170 reviews on Google and a 4.9 star average. Like, it's a no-brainer when I see that and then read some of your reviews that we're going to call you.
Yeah. So I think when we first started, you guys were probably
really nice.
like 20 reviews. Yeah, it's really nice, right? Because the first impression's already made for you, right? But you guys probably were at like 120, like probably 20 reviews when we first started, maybe 19 reviews, I think I remember. And then it's been about a year, and you guys are at like closer to 170 now. So
yeah,
it actually is an accurate reflection on the volume and the business and the service you're providing. Whereas before, you couldn't really tell the difference between somebody like yourselves and someone like, another company on Google Maps. So let's go back in time a little bit. Like, let's say before you started working with us, what do you think help you make your decision to do business with us? And like, what made you decide to pull the trigger?
I think first and foremost, working with a group of young entrepreneurs was appetizing to me and our team, just because I knew that you guys were, 1, really diligent, 2, really smart, and 3, really eager to use your initial customer base to improve your product. And I only got that sense from Parting Pro. I didn't get that sense from other companies. So that was really pivotal in our decision. And then when it came to evaluating the product itself, the fact that you offer really easy to use software with case tracking, note taking, automated invoicing and payments, and electronically signable forms and mechanisms to track those items made it a no-brainer for us, and kind of helped us to create a new system that we can work within. So it was really intuitive in that way. So it kind of lended itself to a pretty easy transition as far as software implementations and training go.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about it a little bit, because you guys have a relatively big team. I wouldn't say your team is, other than, you know, obviously you and your brother, your team wouldn't be described as the most technical. Um,
That is accurate.
All right. So why don't you describe like working with us, or like which area do you think you got the most value, and why do you think that is?
I think I got the most value in terms of just having you, Will, and Tyler as partners in this industry. Um, and that's really coming from me on a business and personal level. It's really just,
Thanks.
you guys are easy to, yeah, absolutely. You guys are easy to work with, and you have a way of dealing with us in particular. I can't speak for your other customers, but in terms of us as a customer, you've always been really good listeners, and using those skills and what we're trying to like get you to improve upon, and then going back to the drawing board and coming up with a solution to the problems that we're facing. I think that's a really great arbitrage from our point of view, because it allows us to get better faster. And that's kind of the stage that we're in. So that's a great opportunity, as well as all the benefits of the product that you provide, which kind of stand out on their own.
Awesome. Thank you. That means a lot. Yeah. No, it's been great working with you as well. I think you guys gave really good feedback, and all the feedback you guys give help everyone else in our, you know, Parting Pro family to kind of grow even faster. So let me just wrap this up with one last question. So somebody watching this video right now is probably wondering, you know, should I go with Parting Pro? So why don't you talk to somebody listening right now? Like, why should someone listening right now take action and work with Parting Pro?
I think if you're a funeral director in the U.S. and you see the rise in cremation rates, you can trust me as a funeral director who knows the industry and who spent most of 2018 doing research on all the available funeral home and case management softwares for the industry, and taking calls and demos with at least 10 of them. I've done that research, and based on that research, I made the decision to go with Parting Pro because their team is amazing. Their product is better than anything I found on the market, bar none.
Nice. Awesome. And then I guess let's talk about what are your goals for this year? Like, what do you hoping to accomplish this year?
I hope to accomplish a lot this year. So using Parting Pro and the software that exists now has allowed us to revisit some different processes within our company, and allows us to kind of iterate and formalize those processes and really tighten them up. So a lot of 2020 is going to be kind of tightening the screws on things that we didn't really get a chance to in 2019 because we were so busy making so much money. So 2020 is kind of a reflection year in terms of kind of what's working well, what's not, and then kind of prioritizing what's not, and working with our team and you guys to make it better.
Awesome. And would you say working with us has a pretty positive ROI?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it, man. Well, I'll be talking to you, you know, pretty regularly, but thanks for your time to sit down with us and chat.
Yeah, absolutely, Albert. Anytime, man.
All right, cool.